do Mr. Hyst Gaming. Has been so generous today. We have another main tank, silver main tank. Got a lot of main tank votes today. I like it. I like it. It actually fits super well with me, having played a lot of main tank these last few weeks. Hopefully I can get my main tank VOD to, or my main tank account to Moss or to GM this week. Oh, silver main tank. Let's group up. I need tanks. Yeah, for sure. Duffy, it's also silver, but mostly play support. He has some really good game sense. So I think you could climb. You could climb some. Mine is Lucio. Okay, small bean. Lucio. Let's open up that one too. Just to not forget it.
So
Go. Okay, so we are on Dorado. We are on Dorado. We have a few snipers. Ash, Widowmaker, Sombra, Zen, Moira. Okay, so this is gonna make your hard white, or make your life hard. You are not gonna get a lot of support. You might be getting pocketed by Moira if you're lucky. But yeah, the Ashe is gonna do her thing on the high ground. The Widowmaker is gonna do her thing on the high ground, and the Sombra is gonna do her thing in their backline. So you won't be getting a lot of frontline support here. That means you as the Reinhardt, you're gonna have to play super safe. And you won't really be able to do much. That is unfortunately the point here. And I would actually suggest to play Winston instead. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. I love it. We've actually gotten ourselves a date in the chat. Suggestion for next Friday is Silver Scream coaching. Hey, that's actually a pretty good idea. That is actually a pretty good idea. So you guys could queue up, you share your screen, and I do some live coaching while you're playing. Hey, we could do that. We could do that. $3,200 on support, on tank, working on my DPS account. My DPS sucks, gonna be silver. Oh, unlucky. But that's pretty much how I felt as well. Holy shit, my DPS was so bad. Like, I actually tried my best. I actually tried my 100% best on my new DPS account, and I placed 2,200. That felt so bad. Yeah, or it was a Genji one-trick account, so maybe not DPS. Like, if I play McCree or Soldier or Tracer, I'm confident that I can play in Masters, but holy shit, Genji. I actually played my best and placed in 2,200, and I had no impact. Like, every game, I just dashed into the backline, did nothing, died, and I was like, what? How do you play Genji? It's hard. Oh well, enough about me. Let's move on here. Oh, relax. There we go. Okay, so they have a Winston standing in front of the payload. I love it. Some very aggressive positioning coming out here from the enemy team. And you can also see a soldier. You can see a mercy beam. And what is your first thought here? Is it fire strike and eat 300 damage? Or is it to hold shield?
Soldier.
I hope you hold shield. Nice. Nice. Okay. Flashing shield a little to save some damage. That's good. That's good. I call it out. Okay. Unlucky that we can't hear your comms. Most VODs are like this though. Yeah, that fire strike is fine. Oops. back. Swinging here is fine. Hey, you have gold damage for sure here. Okay, okay. Some tunnel visioning. I can hear it. What? Can I?
We have a Winston.
Oh, I'm actually retarded. Okay.
Mercy, Diva, a soldier.
Okay, nice. Let's watch this again. There, Ash died. Yeah, probably shield here. Right at this moment, probably shield to save the Zen, because this Diva, she used her boosters, so that means she's gonna be stuck in this position for at least 6 seconds. I think it's 6-second cooldown, but she's gonna be stuck in this position for at least 6 seconds, and that means your Zen that is behind you is gonna be able to pump out his damage for free into her face, farm his trance, and it's gonna be the good life. So she's gonna die either way. And if you ever come into a situation where the person in front of you is going to die anyway, then shielding your teammate becomes top priority. There, the Zen dies. I don't know where your Moira is. That is actually a good call. Your Moira should definitely be standing with you and try to heal you, but she was in a duo with the Widowmaker, so probably they're doing some shenanigans over here. I don't know. Okay, she was actually to the left here, doing something, not sure. But yeah, as you can see here, if you shield this Zen, he's gonna survive, but he's actually escaping. And yeah, damage orbing Moira. We are in the depths of bronze. It's unfortunate. Nice fire strike. Actually doing some shield hopping. Should probably be shielding here. As soon as you notice you're getting low, your armor here is gone. That's when you put up your shield. You could also shatter here. Your shatter is actually done. And you are. Oh. Unlucky pin, but it's gonna be enough. So, like I said in the previous Rein VOD, pinning immediately after a charge is the biggest no-no of Reinhardt mains. Never do that. So you always want to chill here. You usually want to start. Let's actually go into the game. Oh, whoops. Usually want to start with the swing, cancel it into a fire strike. So here, you swing once here, so you can hit both the Diva and the Mercy here, and then you swing. And then you fire strike to finish off the Mercy, and then you start swinging here into the backline. So you don't actually need to charge. So instead of getting 1 kill on the Torbjorn here, you would have probably instantly killed the Mercy, probably the Moira as well, and that's both of their main healers down, and then the rest is smooth sailing from there. So let's see. Overwatch. Rein. Rein path there.
Justice will be done.
You could also go for a short charge. Yes. That is a... That is a valid choice. But the thing is, with the short charge, is that you won't be getting any ult charge at all. Because you can't get any ult charge while people are stunned. And that's usually why you wait. You wait with the charge until people are standing up, so that as soon as they stand up you start charging them, and then you pin them into the wall when the stun is over, and that will give you 20% ult charge to your next shatter. So yeah, when shattering, swing once and fire strike immediately, and at the end you charge. I was a bit slow there. But you have time to do all those 3 things, and by the end of the shadow, you're gonna get some more charge. Let's do that correctly this time. But where did the bot go? Juke me! Oh my god, this bot! Getting outplayed by bots. What is this? Hey, wait, I could actually try the new tech thing. Oh. A bunch of Reinhards have been starting doing this 360 spin stuff to make it harder for people to dodge. Okay, so we want 2 bots. We want 2 bots. 2 bots. Okay. We stick together. Not. Okay, whatever. So swing, fire strike, charge as he stands up. And then, as you can see, I have 11% full charge to the next one. The bots don't have a lot of HP, but if you're charging a tank, then definitely you get like 20-25% full charge to the next one. But yeah, here for sure. This is a huge shatter. And if you just swing, position yourself in the middle here, and just 360 swing is probably better. You could practice playing without charge. You could practice playing without charge. Yeah, I actually did that for a while. I just got so mad when charge was actually needed. So I just started not charging most of the time. But yeah, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me when I play my Reinhardt account later. I suicide charge all the time as well. You get those tingles. You have to. Sometimes you just have to. But yeah, one swing onto this Mercy, and then fire strike. She dies, and then you can pin one of the people behind here. But it's always worth it to secure a kill on the people that you have pinned, shattered. I mean. But anyway, since you have respawn advantage, and you don't even die here, so this is a big win for you. Huge shatter. How can we get this thing shut up? Save game. There we go.
No one can hide from my sight.
Okay, I wasn't even looking. Okay, so they're moving forward. Have you actually called anything out since then? I don't think so. Anyways, they have a Moira, they have a Diva. And as soon as you see her popping ult here, I would start shielding and moving backwards. There's no way you actually kill this Diva while the Moira is using her ult. The only way you burn down this Diva is if your whole team focuses her, but I don't think that is going to happen. So here, just hold your shield, chill at the payload until the Moira ult is over. And let your team heal you up. But okay, and then you have your your friendly Moira doing a fucking beam over here and letting you die. Interesting. Have you checked that you're on the same region? Like, are you both EU or NA, or
All systems.
that might be why you haven't gotten the friend request?
I require assistance.
Oh, that's actually sad.
Double.
Yeah, that's why. You can still play together though, if one of you is okay with having like 140 ping or something.
Enemy turret ahead. Zarya active.
It isn't that bad actually to play with 140 ping. Like sure, you're gonna die sometimes to the lag, but it is playable. It is playable since it's all based on favor the shooter. So like what you see on the screen is actually what you're gonna shoot. So even though the ping might show stuff a bit later, you will still hit. You'll still hit if you have your crosshair on someone and you shoot. You will still hit. It'll just take a little bit more time.
Enemy turret ahead.
So nice try with the charge. I like that you're going back to your team or to your support to help. Now you probably got shield. Nice, nice. Another fat shatter. Oh, another Moira. Hey, you tunnel visioned hard here. Huge tunnel vision. So swinging here, it's fine. Hitting the shatter is probably fine. I don't think I would have shattered here. Would have waited just a little bit, like move back towards the payload here. So get another swing and then move back a little bit while shielding. And then try to hit more people with the shatter because they are positioned pretty weirdly here. They're all standing in front of you. But since you're so close to the diva, your shatter is actually not hitting. And she's gonna boop you away from the Mercy, so you miss your fire strike. And then the Moira is gonna save the Mercy. She also pops Valk. So yeah, remember that you have like a Sombra somewhere. You have a Widowmaker that's shooting from long range. You don't really have a lot of frontline power. Now that you have the Reaper, he can actually help you a little bit. But you are being slightly too aggressive. How do I change that so that I get your friend request? When you start the Battle.net client, just click on like above the Playing Now button. There's a region drop down menu. You just change the region to Europe or Americas, and then you do the friend request all over again, and it'll work. Okay, nice. You notice that your team is dead. Calling for the regroup. I like it. Pushing up a bit too early here. You are in front of 5 people. You are in front of 5 people and you only have 1 teammate next to you right now. So this is a 100% feed. Moira barely managed to save you with her orb, but unfortunately it was too late. So yeah, as you can see here from the kill cam, there is absolutely nobody behind you. Well, the Zen for a few seconds.
Sombra, can you hack health packs?
30 seconds.
Like the one I'm standing on?
So yeah, with a team like this, against a team like the enemy team has, I would definitely be playing Monkey instead, because that way you can actually do a bit more by yourself. By playing Rein, like the only thing that you can actually do is just pretty much stand on the payload. You don't have speed boost to move around and deal damage to people. But the only thing that you can do is be a presence on the point that the enemy team has to deal with. and use your barrier as much as possible to just stall for time until your Widowmaker actually hits a shot, or until your Zen puts out a lot of damage, or until the Sombra gets a good hack, or until you see a good opportunity to shatter. But it is not your job to actually deal damage in a comp like this. Hey, the team's actually fighting quite a long time. So maybe you went in too hard here again. Let's see. So he's trying to chase the soldier, but it's too far away. Charging. Doesn't really work. Swinging a little bit. Yeah, here, in this situation here, I would definitely start shielding. Your Zen is over here. It's going to need help. No, you should. Oh, okay, actually died from the turret. Yeah, your Reaper and your Moira. No, it was the enemy Moira, okay. They're actually holding quite a long time. Died before you could get over there. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really hard team to work with as a Reinhardt. And that's why I suggest like playing Winston some more. If the enemy team has a Reinhardt comp, then you can definitely play a Reinhardt of your own, just to counter their or not counter, but at least mirror their frontline pressure. But when they're playing split like this, and you also have a split up team that is doing their own thing, then Winston is the main tank to go. You can jump up or jump on isolated targets and try to get some value on your own. Let's see on defense then. We're gonna have Rein, Zarya. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. I could have done a lot more with Winston. I'm just most comfortable with Rein. Yeah, I understand. It's still fine to play Rein. I mean, you just gotta recognize or take a look at the comp beforehand. And if you notice that your front line is gonna be weaker than the enemy front line, then the only thing your job is as the Reinhardt then is to be, well, a kind of a pressure on the point, or a threat on the point. But as soon as the enemy front line moves towards you, you need to back off. So it's going to be like a back and forth where you try to bait the enemy front line to walk into you, and that is going to open up more space for your like flankers and snipers and whatever's on the sides to actually do anything. But that also means that you're going to rely on your team a lot, and that is going to make it hard to climb, because if you have to rely on your team to make plays, then your individual ability isn't really taken into account. But with Winston, you're going to be able to make more plays and actually do something on your own. Yeah, they didn't get a lot of kills, but they did get some. I mean, the Widow did get like 3 or 4 picks maybe. But they, as usually, were not aligned with the time that your team actually pushed. So she got them either when you were respawning or when they weren't needed, or they didn't have any impact. And that's the curse of Widowmakers. I mean, most Widowmaker players I talk to are like, oh, I get like 10 picks per game, but my team can't do shit. Oh, why can't I climb? And then when you look at the game, every pick that they got was 100% useless to the overall impact of the game. So the picks only mean something if you actually get them when your team has the ability to take advantage of it. And that's the problem. And that's why playing comps like this as a Reinhardt is very hard. Because you have to wait. You have to wait, play safe, and try to bait the enemy team into moving towards you, but not take the fight. And that can be very hard to do as a Reinhardt. And it's also very hard to recognize when you have to move back and bait them, or when you can actually push in. I mean, you can also say that about your team, but in solo comp, you should focus on your own gameplay. Taking responsibility for your mistake is a step towards getting better as a player. Exactly, exactly. The first step is to start analyzing everything you do yourself and what you could have done to have more impact in the game. So let's see here. Now you're the off tank, going to protect your Reinhardt or allow him to be aggressive. So okay, you have a Junkrat and Sim, solo healer Moira, I think, and you're playing as the Pharah. That's an instant oops. This game is gonna be hard. You have a Widowmaker though, so it might be fine. Might be fine. Your Widowmaker has to deal with this Pharah, and you're probably gonna have to move back to the choke and fight under the choke, because this place is heaven for Pharah. Pharah has like all of these roofs right above you where she can spam you from the sides, and you can't really do anything about it. So let's see how this works out. Also have a Reaper. Say, when you want to get charged with Zarya, and when you're playing with Reinhardt, the usual thing that you do is first you use your personal bubble, like you just did here, but you need to move forward. You need to stand behind the Rein shield and and use your bubble in here. So that lets you get some charge, absorb some damage, keep your Reinhardt shield alive for a little bit longer. And then when you see your Reinhardt being in swing range of something, that's when you can bubble him, and then tell him in voice chat, Rein, I'm bubbling you, you can swing 1 or 2 times. So here you bubble yourself, but you are behind the Rein shield, so you're actually not getting any charge at all. So remember to get in front of the Rein shield to absorb some damage. And the Rein is actually not in swing range of anything, and he's not getting pressured by anything either. So here you pushed up way too far. You're usually gonna want to stay behind the Rein shield and just see yourself as Rein's personal like bodyguard or something like that. So you wanna stand behind his shield, use his shield as cover, and just pump out as much damage as possible. So you wanna build charge, and until you've got like 60 plus charge, you wanna play a bit passively and try to just build charge and chill for a few seconds, because you don't deal very much damage before you have build up enough charge. And your Moira actually died here. Your flanking Moira did something stupid and lost a duel against the Reaper, so you don't even have a healer now. This means you need to get the fuck out. Yeah, you're tunnel visioning on this diva. That was actually an okay bubble. Tried to save the Junkrat from the Reaper, but he Wraith formed away immediately. But I guess it's actually fine. This is something that high-level teams actually do on this map. They play around this corner here and fight on the payload until they die. Because this stalls for a lot of time. You've actually already stalled them for like 40 seconds. So standing on the payload here actually actually stops them from moving it. Yeah, the goat stall as to Neverland said. They just fight on the payload, and if they lose the fight, they keep fighting on the payload until they all die, and then they can speed boost and get another fight on the courtyard after the choke anyway. So it's not like you lose the whole point by fighting here. The thing is that if you fight under the choke, like most teams do in comp, then you won't have enough time to get a second fight if you lose it. So yeah, huge tip when you are in melee range of people, and when in duels against people like this, you see how little HP he has. If he has 1 bar of HP, that means that he has 30 HP. I think 1 bar is 30. Or is it 25? It's 25. One bar is 25 HP. So 1 melee deals 30 damage. So here, if he is this close to you with this little HP, that means 1 melee will kill him. Meleeing when in close range is it's a really good skill to learn. So here you can instantly finish him off with a melee. And instead, he actually survives. And there's another thing you can do with Zarya. Right-clicking and meleeing with Zarya actually doesn't slow down her rate of fire. So if you just right-click, this is the rate of fire by holding right-click. But if you melee between every shot, there's absolutely no difference between the right-click rate of fire, but you still have melees between every shot. So that is a really, really good thing to do, especially when you grab people. So when you have like 6 people in a grab, just right-clicking and meleeing is gonna be insane DPS. Because melee is actually an AoE ability. It cleaves and hits everyone in front of you. So 1 melee into 6 people is actually 150 damage. That is insane. I might get snacks. Be right back. Well, have fun. What else? Yeah. Also, when you try to kill people, or at least squishes. So when you want to kill tanks, you just left click and try to follow them as best as possible. But when killing squishes, you want to try to right click at their feet. So you see that he falls in like, or he jumps into a very predictable pattern when you left click him on the left side here. He jumps like this, and that makes it very easy for you to track. So let's do this again. If I right click his feet and then immediately left click, becomes very easy for me to follow him. Oh shit. So that's a pretty good tip for killing squishes. Let's do it on this ball. Oh well. And then you can like practice bots, or practice against bots, your regular tracking. So just stand still and then try to hold your mouse on him at all times, without ever losing. And then you can do it while walking. So something smart is you can either choose to follow him with your mouse, or you can actually follow him by just strafing next to him like this. So when he goes left, I go left as well. So I'm not moving my mouse here. I'm actually just moving in the same direction as him. There, start to practice your movement and move around while trying to track him at the same time. Yeah, the new Reaper buffs have actually made him quite deadly and very annoying to deal with, unless unless the whole team actually tries to. Let's see how much HP he had here. Can you see it? Yeah, he had 23 HP. So 1 melee is 30 damage. Could have definitely finished him off here. But okay, let's see. We get back to the fight. That's a pretty good bubble. Gets you 40 charge, and then here comes the Reaper. Nice right click. So yeah, the problem is you will never win the 1 versus 1 against a Reaper, especially not in a small enclosed space like this, because he just needs to shoot forward. He hits pretty much all of this area. But the only time that you can actually win a 1 versus 1 against a Reaper is if you have like 80 plus charge, and you have your bubble ready, and you are at like max range. So you try to stay around here if you would have fought a Reaper, so that his shotgun shots aren't as effective, and your left click, it has quite a long range. So your left click could actually hit him from here. Try to hit right clicks on his feet. But these are a lot of check boxes that need to be ticked in before you can actually take a duel against a Reaper here.
Reaper Mind.
So remember, your job as a Zarya is to support your Reinhardt, try to keep him alive and keep him as aggressive as possible with the help of your bubbles. And then he, in turn, will keep you safe with his shield and let you, well, have a safe space where you can apply your damage without getting destroyed. It's a very synergistic relationship that Rein and Zarya have, and you really need to make use of that.